Hello, radio.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, William. How are you?
I'm very well. What have we got on today's show, James? Are you going to take us through it?
We have got loads of great things. We've got a theme this week, again, on Core and Four, and the theme is school. Last week we had childhood, and this week we've got school.
Sort of taking it the next stage up.
Yeah, it's a natural progression, if anything.
Very good.
Yeah, thank you very much for the song before. That was very relaxing. It certainly helped my bowels move. Yeah,
I'm glad that I could help you out with that.
like old Mr. Darcy helps his good friend Jane in last week's episode of The Only Way is Wessex.
That is
pro.
That is the best segue I've heard today.
Yes. Speaking of The Only Way is Wessex.
Yes, we don't actually have The Only Way is Wessex this week, James, unfortunately.
No,
it is at rest this week.
Yeah.
It will be back. We will guarantee it. We will be back in future weeks. That is an
Yeah.
absolute guarantee. If you've tuned in just for The Only Way is Wessex, then we can only apologise. But we will be talking about last week's one.
Yeah, on the other hand, if you want to hear The Only Way is Wessex, then you can listen on the podcast, which is on our YouTube channel, which is at youtube.com/user/Will and James Late Show.
Very good. You can also find that link on our Facebook.
Which this is too professional. Let's say something stupid now.
I think you already ruined it with your bowel movements. But, yeah, our Facebook, which is The Will and James Late Show at 8:15, @sign 8:15 with a colon.
Yeah, okay, very good.
I think everyone will get there.
But
actually, we did have some questions about the last week's Anyways Wessex.
Yeah, yes, we were just thinking it brought up the delicate situation of prostate cancer.
We were very delicate about it. We made sure that we were most professional.
Yeah, absolutely, very sensitive.
And some people asked us why we made reference to about prostate cancer in the Anyways Wessex last week. Last week it was the 1st of November or Movember.
Oh yes, or for some of the lily-livered lovers of the month, it is Novembeard. Which is where they grow a beard. And all I can say is, right, it doesn't take any skill to grow a beard. Most of the people who do November...
You're demonstrating a no-skill inserted beard right now.
Yeah,
Absolutely nothing has gone into that beard.
I do a beard by accident, right? Sometimes I'm just
not
sitting
by
down
accident,
straining.
by laziness.
If you want.
By neglect.
Hey,
you neglect your face.
I maintain my
beard.
beard. It's a beard by choice.
To be fair, I'm extremely jealous of your beard.
Yeah, so grow up. Anyway,
I wish I could.
As I was going to say before you so
beard.
rudely interrupted me, sometimes I can just squat down and push out the beards that these people do, honestly.
So I think we should cut out the squatting and just say that last week's Anyways Wessex, we talked about prostate cancer because it's Movember, raising money for prostate cancer. We hope you enjoyed it. There'll be more of those in future, possibly more charity themed. Any more charities coming up? I don't know. Christmas, there's always charities going on at Christmas.
I'm not intending to write anything about it. There's no other funny ones.
Charities are supposed to...
Right, we're going to get ourselves in trouble.
Comic
again.
relief is funny. You can write one about comic relief.
It never is, though, is it?
No.
Have you ever laughed at it? Because it is always rubbish.
It's always a letdown. It's always Lenny Henry, that's why.
Yeah, no, he's not bleeding funny, is he?
No.
And he's shagging Joe Brand. That's got to be a rough call.
Nice to insult Lenny Henry. We're like 5 minutes into the show. Lenny Henry won't, is it?
Well, he's not funny.
He's not funny.
Okay, but back to Movember.
Movember, yeah. So, are you growing your beard for Movember?
No.
You don't care?
No.
Okay.
I care about prostate cancer, obviously. That's a bad thing. Raising
I'm
money
glad that we cleared that up.
Raising money to counter it is a good thing.
And also, funny people with beards. Because at the weekend, I was in London, and you could see people walking down the street who you just knew only had a moustache from Movember. They were like the most uncomfortable little moustaches, like proper like fully grown moustaches, but sort of very half-assed, very like they couldn't be bothered and they weren't very comfortable in their own skin. You're like, you don't normally have a moustache. That is only for Movember.
I think it's an element that like moustaches aren't in fashion anymore, which is a real shame because like
if I could grow a moustache, I would have a moustache right now.
No, you wouldn't.
I really would.
We talked about this before. You actually wouldn't.
We talked about this before, James.
Yes, we did.
No, I actually would. I genuinely would have a moustache.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't have the confidence to pull it off. You know that
you don't need confidence. It's something to hide
You wouldn't
behind.
do it. Yes, you would hide your face everywhere.
If I could have a full beard, I would have a proper...
You would wear a balaclava if you had a moustache.
Well, that would only highlight the moustache because that would block out everything else.
Okay, yeah, but you would have a ski mask on.
Okay, ski mask, right?
Yeah.
No, if I could grow a beard, I would grow a beard.
And and also, if you do have a mustache, you know that you're going to get funny looks, like too much, you know.
Yeah, but then you'd be like, got a moustache.
And what?
It's better than a soul patch.
Oh
That's
God, or a chin strap.
Oh,
Jesus.
People that actually like style their beards into.
Well, a chin strap's
small
for like
shapes.
people who can't actually grow beards.
Yeah.
Like if you've got a little bit of crap around your face and
Yeah.
grow a chin strap. Pathetic. Sorry to everyone who has a chin strap.
we just want to get our facial hair beliefs out there.
Yeah. So, but back to actually Movember. Yeah, you know, like, why is it a mustache is associated with prostate cancer? Is it just
I
because
assume it's
men
just 'cause it's
can
men.
grow them? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I actually didn't know that Movember was for prostate cancer until this year. Like
Did you?
in previous years, I just thought it was funny.
Yeah. Oh,
I also
yeah.
thought, why are people actually doing that? Why are people sort of going along with it? But
My brother grew on last year or 2 years ago, I think. It
really,
looked alright. You looked like something out of the 1920s.
it's very sophisticated.
But
Some of our teachers at school grew them, but like
Didn't they?
genuinely had less good ones than the pupils.
Wow.
Like, there was a couple. There was like a maths teacher I remember who had one. It was like a little girl's moustache,
Oh,
and there was like people in year 11 with actual moustaches. It's
that's
just
some
embarrassing.
embarrassing shit.
That's the thing. If you're gonna go for it, you've got to know that you can actually get one out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because if I did it, and it would just end up, I'd just look like a girl with facial hair.
Well, yeah.
That's why I wouldn't take the risk. But
I've thought about it. I don't think it would look good, to be honest.
what, on me or generally
Me?
on you?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
you have the hair. For
You're
it.
right. If you actually did like get like a really thick beard, like Nigel Thornberry style, then like I think you could pull it off. I think it'd be alright.
I would love that. That would be a dream.
Yeah, I think it'd be brilliant to bring them back. I remember there was a video that The Feeling did one time, and they all grew mustaches. they gave that up quickly, but I thought that was a really good
There aren't
image
actually
choice.
like many celebrities that actually have moustaches.
Yeah, I think Brad Pitt had one for a while.
Yeah.
Or was that for a movie as well? Johnny Depp definitely did at one point.
Yeah. Yeah, Johnny Depp's pretty much like the only famous person I can think of.
Yeah. Bring them back.
You'd have thought Johnny Depp would bring them back single-handedly. People would be
yeah.
like, I have a
I think the problem is that if you are an ugly guy, then you probably can't get away with it. You know?
Or you don't have like a sort of bubbly personality.
Or you're not really famous.
Or you're not really famous. Or you're not paid to have these things.
Yeah.
Well, we've also got the normal things on our show.
Oh yeah,
We've got the
news.
news.
Yeah.
Will's Wide Web.
Yep.
So they'll be coming back. They'll be there. every
Is it
week.
another multimedia episode of Will's Wide Web?
It is another multimedia. Actually, this has been extremely multimedia because I posted a link on my personal Facebook to and my Twitter, my personal Twitter, to one of the things that I won't actually be talking about it on this show, but I will be telling people to go and look at it because it's the best thing I've seen since yesterday when I looked at it.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah.
So yeah, more 360 Will and James.
But most importantly, yes, the theme is school today.
Yes, some embarrassing school stories.
Yeah, there will be plenty.
We'll try and get those out. Until then, would you like some songs, James?
I would absolutely love a quick song. Why don't you do a sweet song, sweetheart?
I will.
Hello.
Thank you very much for that, James.
Yeah, I thought that the song was shorter than that. It's quite funny.
Yeah,
Because we were just, Will just said, oh, nice one that you've put on such a long song.
and then it stops like a minute before it's
just
supposed
received,
to.
and it also turned itself off, so it actually is a short length.
Well,
Oh, well.
I'm quite impressed.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about school, James. Let's talk about. Let's start at the beginning.
Yes.
Let's start with our first days. Everyone's got a good first day story. What was
First
yours?
day. Well, I remember like just a lot of like sort of everyone stand in a circle and sing something. I don't know.
That
If we
sounds
actually did any
horrible.
singing, but we had to like stand in circles and introduce ourselves and stuff like that. But what I remember more particularly is that like a couple of days after we first came to school, the others came, another group of people, and I for some reason, I still imagine them as being dirty. I don't know why.
Do you still know who the others are?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you talk to these people, or do you still?
I think I'm in. Well, I've talked to one in the last 2 years.
Oh wow! So they really have been segregated from day one.
Dirty. That's what I can say. Yeah, I don't know why I've got that association with them.
That's pretty bad.
Dirty.
See, I was one of the others because I joined primary school about sort of halfway through the first year.
Yeah.
And so I had to turn up on my own.
You bloody freak.
And then, I had to stand in front of everyone and they're like, this is Will. Does someone want to look after, or I think someone was assigned to look, well, in fact, one of my oldest friends was assigned to look after me for the day. But I remember taking it very badly and being very scared. And in the first, few days of lunch times, I didn't want to go out onto the playground and play with everyone else because obviously I didn't know who they were and I was a bit scared.
Yeah.
So there was on the playground, there was one of those painted number grids just outside the door. So I just stood on that because I thought I was safe in the numbers. And I sort of hoped that my carer, Jack, would stay there with me, but no. He pissed off. He was like, I'm not standing here with the numbers. I'm going to go play with my friends. You stand there and cry on your own.
That is so strange that you felt protected by the numbers. I'm just going to throw out there.
I'm kind of hoping that it means that I'm brilliant at maths or something, but no. Say for myself, no. It was just the first thing that I could attach myself to.
Yeah, well,
it was an excuse to not go and be with other people.
As you said last week, you're really interested with the scores of your Lego.
That is
football.
true. That is true.
And you had all the statistics laid out for them.
I think statistics. As a child, I really loved.
Are you interested
keeping
in that?
records? Well, I suppose I do play Football Manager. So in a way, that is kind of that is kind of the same thing.
Unless you study the game mechanics and stuff like that.
No, but no, I do still like numbers and stuff.
Yeah, well, you're odd. I'm just going to say that.
I'm odd, yeah, but that was actually Jack, the guy who was supposed to look after me and pissed off and left me to cry on my own in the corner. Turned out to be one of my longest ever friends.
Right,
my first ever friend, certainly.
Well, speaking of strange meetings with first friends, I remember in the reception, my first memory of him was him aggressively poking me in the back. When we were all sitting cross-legged on the carpet, he was really jabbing at me in the back for some reason. I have no idea why.
And that sort of childish way you pull on a girl's hair if you like her. He was just like, you're my friend now.
I wouldn't compare those two.
Well, it's pretty similar. It's how children make friends.
No, I think it was actually just plain aggression. I remember
he just didn't like you.
In fact, this is a funny thing, is we actually had a big sandbox.
Yeah.
Well, not in the American style. It was a tub, a bathtub full of sand. And there were dinosaurs in there, and that's where we made friends. I was Triceratops, and he was some sort of I don't know.
Wow.
I guess it would be a T-Rex sort of thing.
That's actually a beautiful story.
Yeah.
When we had that in preschool, the sand boxes and the water boxes and stuff.
Water boxes?
Well, the same things but filled with water and you played boats in.
God, that would be awful with a load of...
Well, that's the thing. There was a sort of hierarchy.
What?
Only certain kids could play with the sand.
What?
The younger ones weren't allowed.
Oh.
It was actually sort of one of these prison system hierarchies where you have to know. Yeah, actually, genuinely.
Hey, I know a guy. He'll get you a shank and a couple of minutes in the sandpit.
Wow, that is actually so close to my primary school experience. It's unreal. Another thing about looking back, preparing for this and looking back on our school days, something that I found weird were assemblies.
Yeah.
I don't know if you found them weird, but at the time they were just normal. But looking back, it's the weirdest thing in the world to just sit in a room and sing
and get talked at.
Yeah, but there was a certain thing that they used to do in our assembly. Well, if it was your birthday, you're allowed to take in whatever presents you got for your birthday.
Yeah. And
stand at the front of assembly and show and tell them to the entire school.
Yeah.
And at the time, I didn't think that was strange at all because I have vivid memories of doing it, about 2 or 3 times and not being scared.
Yeah.
But if I had to stand in front of a 200 primary school children now, I'd wet myself.
Yeah. Imagine standing in front of your lecture theatre and bringing out
what you got.
That you got.
What you got for your birthday? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was actually ridiculous. But I don't know why they allowed children to do that, because then all the children who got rubbish things would be
I know, the poor kids will be like, oh, wow, so that's what it's like to have a mum and dad who work.
Because surely it can only cause problems.
But yeah, absolutely.
I remember, and lots of people did it.
Yeah, they definitely wouldn't do that now, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, It's funny. Also, like you're singing religious songs and harvest-related songs. I don't know, sort of a bit pagan, something about it.
A bit pagan.
Oh, like just singing, chanting, and not like hymns. We didn't have proper hymns. Did you have proper hymns?
Not in the sense of the ones that you'd sing in a church.
Well,
no,
yeah,
but
yeah,
they're
exactly.
like there was a children's hymn book.
Yeah, well, Songs of Praise is one that we had. I remember the cover vividly. It was a load of children screaming with joy towards the camera, and I was just thinking, this is not how I feel about this book. Actually,
But there were some good. I genuinely enjoyed that when we did the hymns. 'Cause,
Oh,
like,
well, I love looking back at them now and love hearing them. But I do remember, speaking of hierarchies, the younger kids didn't get the books. It wasn't like they weren't enough to go to everyone. So it wasn't until you were older that you were allowed to read from one of the hymn books.
oh wow, that's the saddest thing I've ever heard. What did they? What they just had to mime along?
Well, you had to know the
Oh wow,
lyrics.
thrown in right at the deep
And I
end.
do. I could sing all number of numbers for you. Number of numbers.
Has that come in useful for you, being able to recite children's
If I
hymns?
need to serenade a child.
Those sorts of things don't really sound good on their own. You have to be in a group, otherwise it's
Oh yeah, I know. It sounds
you can't
ridiculous.
get the echo from the tiny ant from the tiny.
We,
ant.
yeah, we had a piano. You had a piano in the background, didn't you? Yeah.
Not usually. There was a
No?
pianist who came in occasionally.
Oh right, yeah. Because I was just thinking
It was a
would
special occasion if we had the guy on the
It would
piano.
sound absolutely rubbish without the piano. Because I remember a couple of times doing it without the piano. It was just chaos.
Really.
No no rhythm to it. No beat.
There was never any rhythm anyway. Do you remember
Father
like primary
Tiny,
school
Father
music lessons?
No.
They happened like once every year, basically, and it
Yeah.
was just throw kids into the hall and give them a load of percussion and just hope that something good will happen.
Actually, now that you've mentioned it, I think I do remember something like that.
You do? They happened like really rarely.
Yeah, it's like with science. You never did science at school. It was like once a week.
Oh, it was like once a week, and then you go find some woodlice, and then you put some woodlice in a tank, and then you look at the woodlice. That's what we did for science.
Yeah. Well, that sounds pretty much.
Because when you're a kid, what other science do you need to know other than woodlice?
yeah, that's a good point.
Like you actually you couldn't get your head around any because science you kind of need to be able to understand things to be able to understand science. You wouldn't stand a chance if you can't even write a sentence. Would you?
Yes.
It must actually be quite hard to teach primary school children.
Oh God,
Because
it'd be a
considering
bloody
they know
nightmare.
nothing, you have to teach them how to pick up a pen and write a letter. I wouldn't know where to begin with that.
I would get impatient. Say, "You absolute bloody idiot!" Hit them over the back head with a ruler.
Oh wow.
Do any kids get hit at your school by a teacher?
No.
I don't have a story. I was just hoping that you would tell me that your teacher abused you.
No, unfortunately not.
So yeah, moving. Oh yes, back to assemblies. I remember that they would give out whenever it was someone's birthday, you would get to stand up and receive a sticker saying Mrs. Hewitson, for that was her name, says happy birthday, and I had a picture of like a little rabbit on it or something like that. My brother kept one of those stickers for years and years. He no longer has it, unfortunately. God bless.
Because he stole it.
Yeah, pretty much. But I got mine in the lump at the end of the school year because I'm a late birthday. Oh
Yeah.
God, I always resented that.
That must
I
be
wanted to be
awful.
up there with just by myself with Mrs. Hewitson.
Rather than with 20 other kids. Who are
Yeah.
or the small weedy ones who are malnourished because they're the runt of the litter. That's actually the case, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
You don't
no,
deserve
no,
you share a sticker between you.
I wasn't the run of it.
You weren't
I was a bit
expected to
chubby.
survive the summer holidays.
He won't live until he's 6. Let's just shove him in with the other kids. That's quite cruel.
That is quite cruel. It probably
Especially-
reflects something
and-
about you.
As
Now,
I
now
said-
you
as I
crave
said-
attention, obviously.
What? I'm the least attention. Well, no, I do love it. No, as I said, I was a chubby anyway. I wasn't a little runt.
Oh, really?
I was healthy.
Healthily chubby.
Yeah.
It's not really healthy, especially
Yeah,
when you're a child.
yeah.
I suppose everyone's a bit
I
chubby.
should have just gone out for a run. Little fat tool.
Were you actually that fat?
No, I wasn't fat. I was just a bit chubby.
That's appalling. I'd hate to be. I've never been.
I'd hate to be fat.
to be that fat. That'd be terrible.
Oh, well. You are expressing your opinions on the obese. How would you solve obesity?
How would I?
Yeah, childhood obesity. Solve it.
Carefully.
No, do it now.
Just fine parents for overfeeding their children.
So, would you judge that on if your child is fat, then you get a fine, or if they specifically overfeed them, because like some kids will eat loads but they'll run around loads. Some kids will eat loads and do nothing.
I would get every child to do some sort of fitness test where they check your BMI and like your heart rate and blood pressure and stuff like that. And then if they were unhealthy, find the parents there.
Right. Would you also kill the ones which didn't have blonde hair and blue eyes?
I think we should move on, James.
Well, it's you said it. The Will and James Show from 8:15 till late 15.
Oh.
Hello!
Welcome back.
Yes.
You might have noticed some things about the songs we've been playing tonight. You might not have, because to be honest, they sound pretty similar to things we usually play.
Yeah.
But there is a bit of a divide, isn't there, James?
Yeah, because you'll notice that half the songs are good and half are bad.
Well, that's open to interpretation, obviously. You'll notice that half the songs are mostly females playing acoustic guitar and singing very nice songs, and the other half are boring.
I think you'll say one half is boring and the other is interesting.
Basically, what
electronic.
happened is yesterday. Well, no, last week on the show, I played Loughborough Suicide by Young Knives, and James took offence because there's a bit in it where they talk a bit.
Oh, God, yeah, I do.
And he was like, oh, well, that's rubbish.
That was such a good impression. Will, sorry, can I stop
wait,
you there?
let me finish.
Because that's such a good impression of me.
Okay, well, let me finish.
Can you say, I'm James and I like to rub my nipples?
I am James, and I could have written that song. That is exactly what you said, and it's just not true. So this week, I'm playing everything. I'm playing everything that is going to annoy you. And yeah, another thing that you don't like is females singing songs.
No, I like
acoustic guitar.
I like it when it's done well.
Well, this is a showcase in the finest in
it's
feminist
not,
folk.
Though, is it?
It really is.
It's actually just quite low quality pop music. Yeah, pretty much.
We'll agree to disagree. I'm showcasing the best there is that will annoy you, and you're trying to do the same.
Well, no, I actually. Well, beforehand we were saying, right, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to. I'm going to play something really obnoxious. I decided not to. I decided to keep it fairly nice.
Decided
and
not
Will's
to
just gone, bam!
No, that's
music.
actually not true. I actually decided to like tone it down. Just play things that would annoy you, but are actually quite radio friendly, rather than things that would just annoy everyone. Which is what's going to happen next week.
Next week, expect a Gil Scott-Heron song, 9 minutes long, about Black history.
Well, what are you going to be playing?
That's my choice. Grow up.
I'm gonna be playing as unradio friendly things that will annoy you as possible.
I'm gonna play some noise music as well.
I'm gonna be playing noise.
I'm gonna just rub.
My noise will be better.
I'm actually just going to rub the end of my nose against the microphone.
Has been set.
Well, I'm gonna pick it up and then wear it. And if you don't like it, then put a ring on it. Okay?
Well, that would be difficult.
Yeah.
Shall we? We'll talk about schools again.
No, let's talk about the gauntlet and the ring. Because you know in Lord of the Rings, right?
Yes.
In right when Sauron, when he's got like his body, puts the ring on the gauntlet. How come the ring then fits on the normal fingers? I know that I can adjust
it's
slightly.
It's not a real ring. It is a magic ring.
Yeah, but I don't believe it, and it wouldn't be ring shaped anymore if it was going over a gauntlet.
The only thing I can say is take it up with the guy who wrote J.R.R. Tolkien. Even though, obviously, he probably didn't write it in the book. Put it on over the gauntlet. To be honest, what did J.R.R. Tolkien write that was sensible? Nothing.
Yeah. He was
a terrible human.
High at all times. Not really. In fact, probably shouldn't sound him. He was all right. Well, to be fair,
all right.
Like the right, as you've said before to me, not on radio. The
I
writing
can't reiterate it
good.
enough on radio.
Yeah. Anyway, you said that the writing of it wasn't very good.
It isn't.
Yeah. So
it is. Okay. It is monkey scribbles.
Monkey scribbles. Anyway. So let's segue very neatly onto
monkey scribbles. What was your handwriting like in primary?
That's true, actually, and it is still monkey scribbles today.
Yeah, it is. It's
absolutely disgraceful.
What do you do at lunchtimes, James? That's what I want to know. I'm not going to bother segueing. I'm just going to get straight in there.
Segues are for amateurs. Lunchtime as well. That's the best time of the day. You know, have a bit to eat, have a bit of a knock around. I was just thinking about it.
Knock around.
Yeah, knock around. Grow up. I remember, right, in primary school, right, Will, are you going to grow up?
Did you play cricket or something?
No, knock around, it's just a saying. Just knocking around. Like, what would you say?
I would play.
Oh. grow up. Yeah, to be fair, yeah, you're right. Lunchtimes. I was thinking about how long I actually had for my lunch and the break beforehand. I only had 15 minutes for the break beforehand, 40 minutes for lunch. That's nothing. It seemed like a lot longer.
Yeah.
How long did you have?
Well, in high school it was 15 and then 55, I think. In primary school it was a lot shorter.
In high school we had like 15 and then an hour. But yeah. So anyway, lunchtime activities.
It is very difficult to get anything done in that amount of time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Anything constructive.
I mean, you can't even do the dip for TIG or IT if you want. You do
Right.
know what a dip is, don't you?
Where you no.
Ip, dip, magazoo, granny.
Right, well we just we didn't call it a
Seriously? Well, what do you call it?
stand around, put your foot in a circle.
Oh, Will, you didn't even have a real name for it. You just described it. That's embarrassing.
We didn't need to describe it. Everyone would just gather in a circle, and then you know that it's time to gather in a circle.
Oh, what? So your automatic human instinct was to gather in a circle and
At
put
all
your
times,
foot in
yes.
the middle.
Well, one of the games we used to play was called Car Wash, and we used to stand in like
car wash.
we used to stand in a grid, and the people who were the washers would just spin around with their arms out in a grid, and then the people that were the cars would then try and run through without getting knocked over. That's what we spent most of our lunchtimes doing in primary school.
But
Perfectly, because it was quite sort of well managed.
Yeah.
Because like the people that were the washers didn't complain. They were like, "Okay, it's my turn." And then
Yeah.
the people that were cars obviously sort of made the most of it.
what did you rather do? You'd rather be a car.
Well, you'd always rather be a car.
Yeah,
Because otherwise you've got to spin around in circles all lunchtime.
On the other
There were
hand-
a couple of people that played the, I get nauseous card. But, you know.
Oh, those absolute jokers. Have you ever pulled that one out?
The what?
The I'm nauseous card.
No, no.
Oh, you've got on it then. But yeah, wouldn't it be quite nice just like punch someone in the head with your spinning
Do you
fists?
well, if you're spinning around, you can't really tell where people are, can you?
Yeah, fair enough. In fact,
We
did it
could have
ever
done.
lead to vomiting?
No. I don't
You obviously
think so.
weren't doing it right. So yeah, other games got your classics. You know, you're stuck in the mud. Your Bulldogs, your TIG, or IT, as you so idiotically call it.
I've literally never heard TIG before in my life.
TIG, or Americans say tag.
Yeah, I've heard
But no,
tag.
it's
I've
TIG.
not heard TIG.
And there were all these rules. Honestly, like a lot. I heard that a lot of people don't play TIG backs. That was like the point of it.
What? What's a TIG back? You're
Like-
going to have to explain everything that you say that
Right,
involves the
okay.
word TIG, because I have no
So
idea what you're talking about.
if you make someone it or you TIG them, and then the no TIG back rule would be you're not allowed to return that to the same person.
Right.
You'd have to find another victim. But that's like idiotic, because half of the fun was, you know, avoiding someone's furious swipes.
Well, yeah, I suppose so.
Do you not have any memory of this? Was I just too passionate?
No, I don't think we really played it, but we played like 40-40, which is where you had to get, you had to like touch or
Block
bit of
1, 2, 3.
whatever, and you
Yeah.
could make chains and stuff.
Yeah. Wait, so you didn't just play regular TIG?
Not really, I don't think.
No, all right, fair enough.
It wasn't complicated enough for us. We like
Yeah,
the rules.
we
We like the ones like
down
40-40.
south, you're a lot more sophisticated, aren't you?
Terribly.
To be honest, once we finish playing TIG, we would just go back down the mine. You know, it was nice.
Wow.
I'm
Is
from
that
the
how you
north,
got
by the way.
is
My
that-
my accent doesn't reveal this at all, but yes, I am.
Is that how you got slim?
Yeah, yes.
Worked off your lunch down the mines.
TIG and then shoveling some coal.
I don't really blame you. What else? Because like other things at lunchtime, obviously.
Oh yeah,
like
well,
food.
lunch. Yeah, we were missing that out. Yeah, I mean, I was an avid school dinners fan. What did you have?
I was a packed lunch person.
Oh dear. You see, I look down on packed lunch people, because you would see them open their boxes and they had these mangy little sandwiches covered in cling film or tin foil, and their packed lunch boxes would smell. There'd be a little horrible piece of fruit in there, maybe some crisps, and just a smell as of putrid. And they've got Captain Scarlet on the front of their lunch box. Oh, how disgusting! Or Little Miss Chatterbox.
I have
if
to
they're
admit,
female.
there was a lot of that, but I only have fond memories of packed lunches.
Well, I can imagine that yours would actually be incredibly clean. Like you would wash it every night.
Not personally, but yeah, I don't.
What? Was it?
Well, I didn't
washed
make my own packed
every
lunch.
night?
Well, no, probably not. But I just imagine
yeah.
it was
about to say.
washed at some point.
Yeah, okay, well, yeah. Anyway, that's how I remember them. On the other hand, school dinners had these fantastic trays with all those little compartments, and
They weren't that fantastic.
they were
Because
brilliant.
it would just be like custard on a bit of plastic, and it was.
Hey, molded plastic, get it right. No, just think. I mean, looking back on it, I bet if I had one now, I would look down on it. It would be so small, I would cry because of lack of food.
Yeah.
But so yeah, and I also remember pink custard. Oh my god, that's some nice stuff. Strawberry flavour.
Probably extremely healthy for you.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's
Did
what
you-
made
whenever
me
you-
so
whenever you
nice
had-
and slim in my childhood.
Whenever you had your lunch, when you
Yeah.
were finished, did you have to wait before you could leave?
Yeah, well, I had to put my hand up.
yeah,
say,
and then someone had to be like, "Yeah, you've had your lunch. You may go now."
but a lot of kids just don't eat.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
just put all.
And would you have to wait for like the rest of your table to finish as well?
No.
I seem to remember that in primary school.
Yeah.
Like, you'd have to wait for everyone to finish, and then you'd have to sit there with your hand up, and then they'd come and check that you've eaten all your lunch.
What about the slow kid? I was always a slow kid to eat.
I was quite a slow kid as well.
yeah. In fact, you say that you still do eat slowly, don't you?
Probably. I don't know. There's no rush, is there?
Well, no, there isn't. I don't know. But yes, and also scraping your plates at the end. And I remember specifically
That's the thing about packed lunch. You don't need to do that.
Oh,
Just empty
well,
it.
Well,
off
you
your
missed
cling
out
film.
on this little wonder because I would not always clean my plate, but I would take pride in if my plate was clean because I never had to fannying on of scraping it, which was just unpleasant. And I always remember that the order of the boxes that you put your cutlery in was knife, fork, spoon. And in my mind, I made a little song in my head. I'm not going to
You're
sing
going to
it.
sing it
I'm
now.
not going
You're
to sing
absolutely
it.
going to
I'm
sing
not.
it now.
No.
I am going to sit here and wait for you to
No.
sing the Knife Fork Spoon
I
song.
have never revealed this to anyone.
I-
I'm not
I am-
revealing it.
Yes, you are. You're revealing it on live radio, having never told anyone ever. You are now going to sing the Knife Fork Spoon
No,
song.
I actually refuse.
Oh, James, this is gold dust.
You might get it a bit later, right?
No, no, we are not. We are not playing another song. We are not moving on from this. In fact, I'm going to take away everything
You
so that we cannot move
I can't
on.
believe I said that.
You're such an idiot. We are now getting the Knife
I
Fork
knew
Spoon song.
you would. No, I'm not. I don't have to do anything.
Yes, you do.
I have to.
Well, just sit here in silence, then, James.
No,
until
I'll make
one
my
of
own
us grows up.
content. I'm little teapot, short and star. No, I'm still singing.
Sing
no,
the Knife Fork Spoon song. To be honest, the Knife Fork Spoon song probably isn't going to be that embarrassing, is it? Is it terribly embarrassing?
Right, okay. There's no other words other than that, but it's just the way I perform it.
You perform it? Is there a dance as well?
No, I don't.
There is a dance.
There's no dance.
Yes,
There's no
there is.
dance.
There's
There's
probably a
actually
dance.
no dance.
Hand actions.
Everyone, there's no dance or hand actions.
Yes, there
apart
is.
from me putting the knives and forks and spoons into
Okay,
the
let's act it
respective
out.
boxes.
Here's knives, here's forks, here's spoons. You're now going to do the Knife Fork Spoon song. Just do it.
Will, you ruined everything.
Grow up. I'm actually going to sit here until you sing the Knife Fork Spoon song.
Oh, right, okay.
This better be worth
There
it.
better be some fucking record labels listening right now, honestly, because you've got.
Just get on with it. This better be worth it, otherwise I might leave.
No, Will.
Sing it.
It's gonna no.
You're ruining our entire show by stalling. No one cares.
Okay. Right. Okay. Knife, fork, and spoon. Knife, fork, and spoon. It's a knife, fork, and spoon. Will and James Late Show.
Welcome back. James has now recomposed himself after the trauma of having
Right.
to sing knife, fork, and spoon. Knife, fork, and I'm
Right,
going to haunt you with that for the rest
see-
of your life.
Right, well, the thing is, right, I guess it's not that weird,
It's not particularly
but compared to, like, I don't know, for example, keeping league tables of your football characters.
Yeah.
But no, it's the fact
characters.
that I've never ever said that before in real life. It's only existed in my head box until this moment, and I just said it to lots of people, and you can now access it on the on YouTube.
Yeah.
The YouTube page is youtube.com/user/Will and James Late Show.
Well done. I'm
Yes.
sure a lot of people will follow that.
That was really professional, wasn't it?
It was terribly
After
professional.
the professional display that we had before, where you bullied me on air into delving into my childhood.
It's what everyone wanted to hear. To be honest, it was the only thing keeping this show on air. What else? Okay, so we actually missed some things out of our lunchtimes because of your hystericalness.
Because there was certainly some hysteria over various crazes.
Oh, that is true. How very apt. What crazes are you talking about?
The
big ones. The big
Yeah,
ones
yeah.
were Pokemon.
Well, yo-yos. Did you have yo-yos?
Yeah, we had yo-yos.
Yeah, we were into yo-yos.
Crazy Bones.
Yeah, we didn't really have that.
We did.
Those what are those little tubes that you'd twist? Scoobies.
Scoobies.
Which was a ridiculous name.
Yeah, we never. Those came a bit late. They were sort of like
Yeah, we weren't
year
really-
8.
Uh,
I think I certainly. You have told me privately that you used to do Scoobies.
No,
even though they were for girls, and
I've had
and
in
we
my
were quite
possession
old.
the kit from someone else.
Oh,
well,
just fell into your lap, did it? Or someone else just gave me this kit. For
Right,
making-
okay. Basically, I was sitting around singing to myself, "Knife, fork, and spoon." Right, and then, I had them, and it's just folding 2 pieces of wire around each other.
I was always really jealous of them, though.
They feel really good to squeeze.
Yeah, I always think that that's exactly the sort of thing that I wanted to do, but obviously
No,
it wasn't
the
really
activity.
appropriate.
Trust me, is
Well, I don't know. Repetitive things are quite fun. But yeah, so what were the ones that you did then?
Well, my particular favorite was Pokemon. Pokemon was my favorite.
That was everyone's favorite.
Yeah,
Do you remember your first Pokemon card?
It was probably from a booster pack, but I don't remember it.
Mine was Weedle.
Weedle. Oh,
Started small.
Rubbish.
Literally,
Weedle.
I was given it and I was like, yes, foot on the ladder.
Although I do remember that the first card that I traded was with a girl who came from China, and she had cards which were Chinese. So I had like a measly Rattata, and I traded that
Rattata?
with her. Rattata? No, it's
Yeah.
Rattata.
Ratata. I'm not going to pick you
Rattata.
up. We'll discuss this later, James.
Rattata. So I traded that with it. So I had a Nidoran female, which is slightly better, except it was in Chinese, and one of its attacks was like a non-damage one. So like it had the instructions on the card, but you couldn't understand it.
Yeah, but obviously that being a major flaw, but you never actually played the
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
did you?
true.
Never actually, nobody actually
Yeah.
played the card game. Even if you did play the card game, it was rubbish.
I remember. Well, I remember me and my brother playing it one time. He figured out the rules. We had some energy cards. We didn't play it properly, but and then he said at the end, because I won, I get one of your cards. I was like, what? And then I went off crying to my mum, and he didn't get it in the end. So up yours, Michael, if you're listening.
You're the big winner here.
Yeah,
I think we've decided that.
I think knife, fork. That's
You have just won today. Yeah, but the thing you did play was
the
Game
Game
Boy
Boy
game.
game, yeah, which has stayed very dear to me. It's like the only like big RPG for the Game Boy, and like I've played it recently as well. I've played like one of the remakes of Red. It was called
Okay.
Fire Red.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
I never had. I had yellow.
I got up to gold.
I only ever had yellow.
I had a passion for gold.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that might again be a bit too late for us, James.
No, Pokemon was never too late to marry on, and also people are still getting the Pokemon games.
Yeah, but like, come on.
I will say nothing.
Yellow is
on
fine.
the
Yellow
matter.
is fine.
Okay.
Yellow is fine. First generation is fine.
Are you displaying your racial views yet again, Will? Come on.
Oh, that
This
was
is
very
getting
cheap.
silly.
That was very cheap.
So, yes. Pokemon, looking back on it now, how do you feel about it? How have your tactics changed in Pokemon
How have my
training?
tactics changed?
How have you developed as a
How have
trainer?
I developed
Are
as a
you the
trainer?
very best? Like
I
no
now
one
have a
ever
lot
was?
more badges than I used to.
Yeah.
No, I don't know, because actually, like thinking about it, it was the easiest game in the world.
Yes.
The only factor about Pokemon that made it hard was the fact that it just took a long time. You just had to put hours in.
Nah.
It was just hours of walking around.
That's if you grind. I mean, I'd try it. Well, I avoided it until the Elite Four. and then like I
Right.
just grinded in Victory Road.
You're using
you
you're
don't- you
using
don't remember
grind
these,
as
do you?
a term that
Grind. Anyone who plays a video game will know that grinding is where you do a repetitive action for a certain gain, and in that case, it is experience, where you go around in the grass and fight
yes.
wild ones.
But equally, the only factor to it is the fact that it takes time. You just have to walk around. There's no skill involved. The longer if you just
No, but
spend an
if-
unlimited
if-
amount of time, even if you're really rubbish, as long as you spend an unlimited amount of time on it, you'll eventually just complete it.
Yeah, but like, but yes, obviously, but
But there's
You
like
can
no skill.
complete it a
There's
lot
no skill to it.
faster
You can
if you.
complete it fast, yeah, but then you still only achieve the same amount of things.
Well, you could say the same about tennis. Like, if you spend enough time on tennis, then you'll.
I guarantee
become better.
that if you spent forever on tennis, you'd never get to Wimbledon.
Well, no, but I don't know.
Exactly.
If
That's
I,
a
it may,
ridiculous
but maybe if
statement.
I started when I was like 3, then I would have, because I had enough time.
But
as
even
you
so, I
said.
bet there are people that start at 3 and spend all their days on tennis and never get
I'm
to.
sure they're very.
Mario tennis, yes. Eventually, you could get to Wimbledon, but real tennis, no. It's not.
There's
the
probably
same
no
thing.
experience points in Mario Tennis. I wish I were experience points in real life. So when you're revising for your exams, you can just look at the bar and you think, oh, nearly there.
Yeah, because that would be a good sort of benchmark for how much of revision you need to do. That's
Yeah.
just a brilliant idea. Go on
Yeah.
Dragon's Den with that. Just experience points with everything. Everything you do just makes you a better person.
I've got an astonishing segue for that.
Really.
Yeah.
It's time we did some news, James.
Thank you. Speaking of Dragon's Den, I've got some news on Levi Roots. Dragon's Den star Levi Roots is sued for £300,000 by friend who claims he invented reggae sauce. Levi Roots and Tony Bailey ran a food store together for 17 years. And so basically Tony Bailey saying that actually Levi Roots is a thief, and
That's
that he
nice.
wants a third of the money that Mr. Roots has made out of reggae sauce. We heard Levi Roots on Jam Radio.
We
one
love him
time.
at Jam Radio, don't
Yeah,
we?
he's
He's been on. He's talked to people.
He's our favourite Jamaican sauce icon.
Just to check and make sure that he is definitely Jamaican. But yeah,
Yeah, he is.
I could not agree with that more.
Yeah.
He's also my favourite sauce tycoon and musician combo.
Oh no.
Regardless of nationality, worldwide, my favourite sauce and
Definitely ones that I prefer.
who? Lloyd Grossman. Did he release a single?
Yes, do the impression.
No. Tomato and basil.
No, I say knife, fork, and spoon.
No. What strikes me about that is that reggae sauce was on Dragon's Den about 5 years ago. So why is it taking him until now to sue for £300,000?
Well, that's something that I thought. Let's just read some of the attacks that he's made. So the lawyer says in court to Mr. Bailey, Levi Roots is doing his own thing with reggae sauce, isn't he? And then Mr. Bailey replies, with my sauce, with my reggae sauce, with what I showed him. Have you ever heard somebody quite as vindictive over a sauce as that?
No, that's quite. Yeah, but to be honest, it's more than the sauce because he's now a millionaire.
Yeah,
so you
that's
can't
true.
blame him for trying to get a slice.
And also, like, apparently, all these like Jamaican jerk sauces are all made out of pretty much the same things with a little variation.
Well, probably, yeah.
So,
But then it is.
but it's just marketing. In fact,
Yeah, there's nothing new to that
Yeah,
sauce.
yeah.
It's just the brand, isn't it?
So and then it's just like Levi Roots has made it famous because that's the only reason why anyone like remembers reggae sauce. I mean, like even in the show, do you remember the actual program we were on?
Yeah.
They said, you've done an absolutely crap job, but we think that you would be quite good in adverts, was the punchline of it. Yeah.
Well, it's worked out very well for everyone apart from
Mr. Bailey.
Tony Bailey.
Also, Levi Roots is actually called, what was it? Keith Graham.
It is a statement.
They revealed that in the TV show, but I thought I'd like to refresh everyone on that.
I've got some news.
Right, go on.
This is probably my favourite news item of recent weeks.
Right.
Okay. It is this man the oldest male prostitute in the world? It's about an 83-year-old called Ben Clifford Dawson. He was
Wow.
arrested in Iowa. Okay. And this is the story. Mr. Dawson was attempting to pay back a loan by performing sexual favours on the woman he was indebted to. It turns out she did not think that this was a good form of repayment and was not interested. So it was probably a bad idea for Mr. Dawson to then begin kissing her neck. He was arrested shortly after. In other news, Dawson is running for city council. But chances are he won't address these accusations, and instead just yell "excuse me" over and over. That's how I'd do it.
Where's he from?
Iowa. This 83-year-old man is running for city council in Iowa.
Right.
After having tried to repay someone who'd given him a loan by performing sexual favours.
You wonder what age the woman was. Do you think it was a young, attractive girl?
It doesn't say, but I'd be very suspicious. Yeah, excellent guy.
Yeah.
We're going to name and shame him. Ben Clifford Dawson, stay away.
Yeah.
He's your granddad, I can only apologise.
Yeah. Although, if he is your granddad, then you're American, in which case you probably don't have real emotions.
Nice.
I'm playing it safe this episode, Will. Have you noticed? Knife, fork, and spoon. Woman kills, guts horse, then strips and climbs in for photos. There's nothing more about that that story than just what I've said. Lottin reportedly told investigators that they wanted to humanely kill the horse and eat it, and she wanted to feel what it would be like to be inside the dead horse. So she got naked.
That's actually just ridiculous.
Yeah,
I suppose you probably could get inside one, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could.
Because in
they're big. In
Bear Grylls, doesn't he get inside a camel?
He might, but I was going to say in Star Wars Episode 5, Luke Skywalker opens that sort of cow-looking Yeti-style thing and puts Luke Skywalker in it, cuts open with a lightsaber, and the inside looks like sausages. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure something along those lines happened on Bear Grylls. He got inside a camel as a form of shelter.
Another quickie. Wanted man arrested wearing inmate costume. Basically, quite hilariously, he was wearing a jail inmate costume, like black and white stripes. Probably a bag saying swag on it, although it doesn't say it here.
That could be the perfect disguise, though, because then everyone would be like, "Oh, what's he like?"
Yeah, he was charged on weapon charges.
Fair enough.
That's quite amusing.
I've got a bit more news coming home from America to Scotland, Oban specifically.
Oh, yeah.
Fireworks night was the other night. Did you do anything special?
Nah.
No, neither did I. There was a fireworks show in Oban that was scheduled to last like 20 minutes, like a standard fireworks display. But due to a technical fault, they set off £6,000 worth of fireworks all at the same time.
That must have been intense.
Yeah. So this was supposed to be sort of like to music.
Yeah.
Like electronically done. Fireworks timed to music to go off at the appropriate points. But instead, 20 minutes worth of fireworks were condensed into under 50 seconds. There is a video on the BBC News website. If you go to the BBC News website and type in like Oban fireworks or fireworks fiasco, it's called, you'll be able to find it, and it is the most intense thing ever. And credit to the cameraman for like zooming away from like the ground where things were just going mental and like picking out the ones in the sky. But yeah, apparently they're going to be giving all the spectators a free show.
Oh, right. What?
So apparently the crowd took it very well.
They get the amazing...
They get to see a lot of... Like, something that I'd quite like to see. All the fireworks going off at once.
Yeah.
And a free show on top of it. So, no, yeah, they said they didn't complain, and no wonder. Apparently, when it stopped, because the music was continuing, the crowd thought that it had just gone out of time. So the guy had to stand up and say, on the microphone to everyone, I'm afraid that is it. And everyone laughed, and it was like, no, seriously, that's it. That's all our fireworks.
Sorry, bye.
Sorry, lights up, please. Yeah, so go to a barn if you really like fireworks.
Poorly regulated fireworks displays. We've got something about a Nigerian comic was arrested on suspicion of smuggling drugs in his stomach, but he's been released on Friday, this Friday, because after 18 bowel movements and 3 weeks, they have not found any cocaine. They've just been searching for his excrement for 3 weeks and found nothing.
Surely they must be able to sort of estimate when it's going to come out. Because surely after like 2 days.
Does it pass? I don't know the
I
timing.
don't know. It was 3 weeks seems a bit like overkill.
Yeah, I mean, also, it's good for you to have one a day, isn't it? That's a normal amount. He's only had 18 in 3 weeks. I'm worried about you, Mr. Nigerian
like
comedian.
3 off normal.
Yeah, well, hey, big difference.
To be honest, like, if all your poos are about to be inspected and you're on charges of drug-related charges, you might be a bit poo shy.
Yeah,
You
but
might be a bit nervous.
if you know that there's just some mug searching through your turd for nothing,
You do it
you're
as often as
laughing.
possible.
Yeah, I would go every other hour.
Search through this, please.
Yep. 10-year-old pulls 9mm gun after candy theft joke. This woman in South Carolina, right, pretends and jokes to this kid, this 10-year-old kid, that she was going to nick his sweets on Halloween. He just pulls a gun on her. Doesn't actually shoot her, but yeah, just for the crack.
But to be honest, like, that's enough, isn't it? You'd probably give him the sweets.
Yeah, I would leave him alone. I'm not sure if I could defend his actions. But yeah, like, this is America, though, isn't it? South Carolina, load of rednecks.
Yeah. I wouldn't, at that age, I would not even know how to hold a gun, let alone get hold of one.
Yeah, you would. You imagined everyone pretends to have guns when they're
Yeah,
little.
but like, I probably would. Yeah, but you know, when you see on videos of YouTube, people holding guns like this and then they fire them and they hit themselves in the head, that's what I'd be doing.
Yeah.
Rather than actually, like, yeah.
Yeah, I just mimed doing a gun, but this is radio, so that was really stupid.
Too often I forget that this is radio.
Yeah. So yeah, apparently, like, that kid and his brother both nicked them off their granddad without their permission. So yeah.
Oh,
Speaking of guns and America, in Wisconsin, they've a new law permits that state residents can now carry concealed firearms, and the church, Milwaukee Archbishop Jeremy Listecki, said, "Please don't take your guns into church." Seriously, they were thinking about bringing guns into church. That's so stupid.
I've got a last one. Okay, a man who called Tom Boddingham, sorry, tried to order a custom-sized slipper on the internet. 'Cause he's got 1 foot slightly bigger than the other. One's size 13.5,
Yeah.
which you can buy slippers for, or 13, I think. And his other one's 14.5.
Oh, right.
So you have to get like a custom one,
If you
or
go
like
into,
shoes.
Go into Brantano's, they sell size 14 slippers there.
14.5 might be difficult.
Half
Plus, he wants
sizes
the other
don't really
side to a slipper, right? So he's gone on the internet in order to try and get the appropriate slipper to match his original. So he's had to get a custom one built. So giant XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXL slipper delivered to man who ordered a size 14.5. We've got a size 1,450.
That's brilliant.
This is
Oh,
accompanied
please say there's a picture.
by a hilarious picture of the man sat inside his slipper.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Apparently there was some error, some sort of administrative error
His
on the
ridiculously
website.
long feet just
where
slapped
they,
themselves on the zero.
Yeah, they missed out the decimal point or something and turned it into 1,450, although you'd have to miss out a decimal point and put a zero in. What were they doing?
When they were making it, did they not think, this isn't right?
Well, no, apparently they get orders for that sort of thing, just for novelty and like...
To be fair, you could sleep in that.
Yeah, it actually looks quite comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
apparently it's the same size as a grizzly bear or a family car.
And if you look at it, it's a ridiculous slipper as well. It's like got fake claws on it and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
well, he's got a novelty slipper, and he needs the other novelty slipper, so he's sent off to get the novelty slipper, and he's been sent.
And he's got a novelty
something that he
slipper now.
It's actually like the size of a car. It is actually the size of a car.
Point it this way again. Yes.
But to be fair to the guy, he's got his head screen on because he's now going to put it on eBay and get his money's worth.
Yeah.
So
just attach a mattress in the bottom. Some kid will
I'm sure,
love
like,
it.
to be honest, I'm sure someone will definitely buy that. Yeah, some kid would definitely like
You
that.
would have
It
liked
looks
that.
really nice.
I bet you would have wanted that.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't have said no to a free
Slipper bed.
size 1,450 slipper. That is actually hilarious. Yeah, so apparently they just thought that it was a special order.
Yeah. Well, I sort of want it. You get one? I assume it would
Shall
cost
I
a lot
order you
more.
one for Christmas? No, yeah. Surely, I don't get how the guy who ordered it didn't notice
The price.
that he was getting charged for a colossal slipper.
Yeah. This is rather expensive for a regular pair of slippers. Oh, well.
Yeah. Well, that's all the news for this week.
Yeah.
We've been well updated.
So, let's go to music. The Will and James Show from 8:15 till late 15.
Oh.
Hello. Welcome back, us. So yeah, we've had news.
We have.
So-
We need to go back to schools, don't we?
Yeah, back to school, everyone. Back to school, period. And we're going back to school.
We should have had like a lunch bell there, shouldn't we? End of lunchtime.
Ah, if
Leave
only
Pokemon cards
we'd
away.
preconceived
If only
that.
we'd been here this weekend, then we could have actually done stuff.
No, we weren't going to record anything. Anyway, from us being naughty.
We have been naughty. Have we been naughty? We have been
Yes,
naughty.
in fact,
We've been
this is
naughty off
actually
air.
this is quite an appropriate time to say it. I accused Will of being a racist
Oh,
before, and I actually do apologise for that. Will
I
is
forgive
definitely
you.
not a racist,
And
that,
I
like
am
Will
not.
didn't even tell me to say that, because I would say if he told me to say that, he's actually not a racist, and I just would want to say that.
I'm not.
Yeah, so if we say anything a bit mad, then we don't mean it.
Yeah, it's mostly me.
It's just us being tired and idiots.
It's extremely tired
Yeah.
today.
So because I've been so naughty,
Yes,
let's
I'm
head
going to put you in detention, James. Oh, wow.
I just did the gayest hand movement ever. Not that there's anything wrong with being gay. Seriously, if I got some sort of issue,
Oh, I need to give you a spade.
Right, okay. Firstly, nothing wrong with being gay. Nothing wrong with being woman. Not being wrong with being.
Nothing wrong with being able to
nothing
talk.
wrong with yeah, I know. Oh god, nothing wrong with being professional either. Though I've obviously got some problem with it. So detentions.
Yeah, did you... primary school, I only think I can remember having one or two.
We didn't get detentions at primary school.
Oh, wow. In ours, it was it was quite embarrassing because, like, there was nowhere to go. You just sat in the corridor outside the head teacher's office at lunchtime. And, of course, that was the corridor down which you have to go to the dinner hall.
Oh, the
So you'd be sat there,
humiliation.
and then the entire school would walk past you and be like, "Why are you in detention?" You just be like, "Oh my god." I remember my first one, which actually, looking back at the time, I didn't think it was particularly harsh because I thought what I'd done was really naughty. But looking back, it was a bit harsh because my hair was quite long and I kind of wanted to get it cut.
Yeah.
And so, as a form of protest, one maths lesson, I decided to get some scissors. I had to get left-handed ones because they were the only ones that were metal. And I cut a chunk out of my fringe, and I thought, yeah, then Mum will have to get me a haircut, right? She didn't.
Seriously.
Cut a chunk out of my hair.
That's so funny.
So just a bit in the middle was missing.
A rampart.
Yes, when I went home, my mum was like, "It just looks like you got battlements." But yeah, and then obviously I got a clump of hair in the middle of the lesson. So what do I do with the hair? I put it in my pocket, don't I? I'm going to keep it for later, right? And then leave the lesson, and on the way out, I go to my friend. I go like, "Guess what I've just done?" He's like, "What? I obviously can't tell." So I show him the inside of my pocket full of hair. He immediately walks and tells the teacher, like, "I'm not having that. Will. I'm not having you having a pocket full of hair." I'm telling the teacher. The teacher then sends me to the head teacher's office.
What a little bellend. I hate
Yes,
that
I then
kid.
got detention, and my mum had to pick me up at the end of the day. And the head teacher had a word with me. He's like,
Oh dear. Don't.
"I don't know why. It's not that
Yeah.
naughty a thing to do.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like I cut my tie off or
Oh
something."
yeah, I know. I remember my first like proper bollocking was well, it probably wasn't. There must have been one before, but the first one I remember was in year 5, and we had dinner cards for lunch, like sort of these credit cards which you would top up with money, and then
quite
you would,
sophisticated.
yeah, we were sophisticated kids. Of course, this is up north. You probably wouldn't understand.
You don't have to bring everything back to
My apologies.
like a broken record.
You
James.
started it.
No, I said it's sophisticated.
yeah.
I said it sincerely.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway. You
Get
made
on
me
with
lose
it.
my train
Credit-
of thought. Come
credit
on,
cards,
Will.
you'd lost
right.
your credit
Right.
cards.
Okay. Yeah. I hadn't lost it. I'd forgotten it. Will.
Right.
Get it right.
Sorry.
So yeah, and like they said, all right, you're going to have to go and see the head teacher. I thought that he was just going to, like, say, oh, yeah, well, I'll bring some money in tomorrow, and then you can have one of these spare ones.
Right.
But no, right, I was standing outside his office, he wasn't in, and then I had to wait for him to come. He comes, right, he says, get in! And I was like, whoa, this isn't what I expected. And then he started bollocking me, but he obviously didn't know what I was there for. And he had, like, an angry mood on because he assumed that he was going to have to tell someone off. And then I think he sort of realised how ridiculous it was that I'd just forgotten something and that he was shouting at me. And he was going, why did you forget your dinner card? Well, how can you explain why you forget something? It's an omission. It's like blank space. You can't explain that.
Yeah.
It's not like I had it tattooed on the back of my hand or something like that. And in regards to detentions, I remember my first detention hit me hard because it wasn't even my fault. And it was because somebody chucked a rubber across the room, and then the whole table got detention, and it was in Mr. McGeechee's woodwork class.
If it's the whole table, it's fine. It's when it's just you.
Ah, yeah, true.
I actually had a surprisingly large amount of detentions in middle school.
That's because you were an absolute rebel.
Well, no, I just remember getting, and the thing is, I used to be like really precious over my disciplinary record, and it would be like, well, but I don't want detentions to go on my record, otherwise then I'll never go to Oxford, which is obviously why I never went to Oxford, because I never had detentions. But yeah, I had loads. I remember the first one in year 5 was in an art lesson, and we were drawing still lifes, so we had to pick an object around the room. We had to draw it sort of in pairs, and the teacher had a cactus.
And you asked one of your male friends to model for you.
We had a cactus. It was like one of these tall ones with arms coming off, and we decided to draw that. And then we also thought, like, the arms that come off, they're baby cactuses.
Yeah.
You pick them off and then you plant them, and you get a new cactus.
Yeah, and also look naff on the side. Get rid of them.
We'll just reduce it to the phallic base. So we picked all the babies off, thinking, oh, loads of babies, she'll be well pleased. Apparently not. She was like, you've just picked all the babies off. You're now in middle school. We had blue slips.
Yeah.
Which are like red cards or something. There, if you've been really naughty, you get a blue slip, and then it's like a proper detention, and it's pretty serious. Got blue slips for picking all the babies off. I've never been so distraught.
Well,
actually, never been so devastated that I got a blue slip.
Desecrated school property.
It wasn't school property. It was her personal property.
Well, that's
I can do what I like to her personal property.
Anyway, you're a disgrace to the school, Will, and that leads us nicely on to the nativity play.
Yes, being going from being the naughtiest people in school to being the most chosen people in school. Were you ever in a nativity, James?
Yeah, I was. I remember it quite clearly.
Too well.
Oh, and I forgot to tell you about this bit because this is quite funny, right? I played the part of one of the 3 shepherds.
Okay.
And I was absolutely brilliant. I sang really loudly. The other 2 were quiet as out, right? Okay. And like a couple of days beforehand, one of the kids who's also going to be a shepherd, who I've just remembered his name, and he was called Ross Ritchie. Look him up on Facebook, bully him. Right, Ross Ritchie like pushed me up against a wall and said, "I'm the best shepherd." He just said that to me. I'm the best shepherd, like in some sort of vaguely threatening manner. Maybe, I don't know. I just went, "No, I think I am," because I was singing the best. But yeah, and my parents always
by singing the best, make it clear that
it was just very loud,
loudest.
Yeah, which is cute when you're little.
Cute to your parents.
I could actually sing that for you as well if you want, Will.
No, I think you've had enough of your singing.
I remember that song as well. Knife, fork, and spoon. So when I was actually up on stage, I remember like seeing like because there was obviously some elevated seats. What do you call those again? Tiered seats. And I remember like sort of drawing an outline of the people with my eyes, like imagining like sort of a green flashing line going around it. And my mum and dad said afterwards, "Oh, you're really good. But why were you doing that weird thing with your eyes? Like, why was I doing that?" Just sort of imagining
a nervous distraction, isn't it?
Yeah, like, but I don't think I was nervous. I was absolutely
I can't imagine
belting
being
that
nervous.
tune out.
I did some incredible things that I certainly wouldn't do now. That I obviously had no shame in primary school. Well, on when we left primary school, the whole year, the whole class, it was only like 25 people in the year, had to sing and do a dance routine to Reach by S Club 7.
Yeah.
And there's a fantastic picture of me and my friend Lawrence, like, right at the front, like, arms upwards, just really going for it.
Reaching.
Yeah, reaching, at the actual reach. Like, I'm really proud of that, but I absolutely never do that now. In Nativity, I did 2. My first one, I was a Christmas tree, which involved wearing, like, a green tunic, like, felt tunic that someone had just, like, glued together, that we then had to decorate ourselves with, like, tinsel and baubles. We'd just gone mental with tinsel and baubles. And then our only role was to spin around in a circle, being Christmas trees. But I did it so well. Next year, I was one of the wise kings.
Yeah.
In fact, I was the best one. I was the gold one, and I was the only one that had lines. So
yeah, well, actually,
who had the last laugh there?
You're a leader.
Definitely
What
me.
gift did you bring?
Gold.
Sorry. Yeah. I thought you were just dressed in gold or something like that.
Possibly as well. I remember the pot of gold I had. It was a clover tub that had been covered in like gold crepe paper.
Yeah, I think we had something similar.
No,
like
I'd made my own.
Oh, had you? All right. Yeah. Well, no, we had like something that was about clover tub.
I suppose
size.
it makes most sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. Myrrh. I always like the sound of myrrh.
But then what is myrrh?
Bit of perfume.
Rubbish gift, isn't it?
Thieves the dark of gathering gloom.
Nobody
Sorry,
cares.
sighing, bleeding, dying, seals in a cold perfume. Stone cold tomb. Oh my god, I repeated the rhyme. Anyway, let's save that for the Christmas episode.
Your incredible memory for
useless
song
rhymes.
lyrics.
Yeah.
I think what we're going to do now, James, is we're going to have a song, and when we come back, we're going to play World's Wide Web.
Yeah.
Is that a good idea?
Yeah, and this song is quite nicely called.
It's quite apt, isn't it?
Yeah, Boys from School by Hot Chip. Will and James, Late Show. Hello.
Welcome back.
Yes.
It's that time of the week again, James.
My favourite part of the week.
My favourite part too, because it's my part.
Your little space. Your little corner. This is what we give Will. We let him control the buttons. We let him have Will's wide web.
Yes, I can. Yeah, but then it's actually more than you do.
I don't get any section.
You get the news. News is yours.
I don't even get the news. You do the news.
I put in a couple of things just to
In
keep
fact,
it,
next
keep
week
the
it's
standard
going
up.
to be James's jammy,
You did have your own
jungle.
section. You had James will fix it, but
which happened in episode 1, which we don't talk about because it sucked.
it didn't suck that hard. Right. Well.
Just that statement, it didn't suck that hard, says all about it.
Obviously, you don't do Twitter, James.
No.
Twitter has been going mental this week, particularly on Thursday.
Right.
If you do Twitter, you might have noticed. Are you aware of Liz Jones?
I am, because you told me about it. Sorry.
The answer to that question was no. James is not aware of Liz Jones.
Bloody clue.
Liz Jones is a columnist for the Daily Mail, among other things. She's also like 50.
Yeah.
She also has no children.
Yeah.
And she's never been sort of married for a long period of time.
And you look at her and she looks like she could be married to Uncle Fester.
Possibly. I don't know what that means.
Addams Family?
No, I don't watch Addams Family.
Right, go on.
Yeah, that's a bit harsh, but so this week or on Thursday, she posted a column on the Daily Mail online, which is available still online. If you type in, you just have to type in Liz Jones, and it's like the first thing that comes up because everyone's been going mental. Basically, it's her stories of how she tried to get her own child when she was with boyfriends who were unwilling to father a child.
Yeah.
The lengths she went to. So she was always in a relationship, or never in a relationship long enough to get to a child, or always in a relationship that was too immature, or with someone who was too immature and didn't want a child too much younger than her. And she's recently come out telling people the things that she used to do. In particular, after having intercourse with a man who was so anti having a child that he wore a condom, what she would do is that she would take the semen-filled condom into the bathroom and inseminate herself.
Fucking hell.
Which we are actually excellently placed to now describe why this is a terrible thing. You as a lawyer can tell us legally why it's terrible, and I as a biologist can tell you just exactly why it would never work.
Yeah.
Would you like to go first?
How appropriate.
I know.
Well, firstly, it's a theft. You're actually stealing it. I'm sure that there's definitely other things covering it, but yeah, there's a case where somebody steals a tennis player's semen in order to impregnate themselves, and yeah, they got bollocked for it.
But isn't it a bit rapey? Because if a man tampers with a condom in order to try and get a woman pregnant,
there's probably no.
That is
I'm not
rape,
sure what
isn't it? Because
no, I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure that is.
No,
I'm
because
just going to tell you that.
There's
I'm just going to tell you. I'm pretty sure that is.
no, I don't think it is. I think I would have read it if I, you know.
I've heard that's a rape.
I think it would be a different offence. I imagine, no doubt, that it is offence, and I imagine that it's a sexual offence, but I don't think it's rape.
Extremely naughty is what it is. And she's been doing it the other way around, which you'd never really expect.
And why would that be so useless?
Well, because firstly, condoms are lined with spermicide, which is intended to kill the sperm inside the condom, so that if a condom does break, the sperm's kind of a bit dead anyway. A large amount of the sperm is dead. Secondly, sperm only stays alive outside the body for like a minute.
Yeah, so by the time she's dashed
as soon as it's below body temperature, that's it, it's dead. So in a condom, it's not, you literally wouldn't be able to have time to get it off the man onto whatever she used to inseminate, a stick.
Well, yeah. What do you think she? I think she just got a finger and then tried to like sort of scoop it up there.
No, I don't. I think finger might be a bit too crude. Like, I don't know, cotton
crude.
bud? Yeah, a finger wouldn't work. Like shoveling it in.
No. I think that's what she did.
Have you read the article? Does it say that? I don't remember reading it exactly how she did it.
I didn't bother, to be honest. Other weird things she did. Whenever she put her knives and forks and spoons away, she would sing a song.
Oh, one thing leads to another, eh, James?
Yes.
But yeah, and also, you can't really inseminate yourself. It's unless you have medical equipment. You can't do that. Even if you had if you put it on a spoon and you tipped it into your vagina, it just wouldn't work. It's supposed to be squirted in. It just wouldn't not work.
This is getting really graphic now.
Well, Liz Jones started it. The idiot.
Yeah, to be fair, she's publishing it on the internet.
Yeah, I don't. To be honest, I imagine the hits on her column have probably increased 40-fold just since doing this.
Trying to get her to say something about her muff.
That is all we're here for.
No, to be fair, if you look at her, then you're definitely not there for that. You protected her before. Do you think she's attractive for her age? I think she's quite scary looking.
I don't think she's attractive, but I don't think she's horrible.
No,
she's an elderly woman.
I fear her greatly.
She looks a bit like a witch.
Yeah,
she's like 50s.
Yeah. Stick a boil on the side of her nose, she'll be done.
She does look a bit like a witch.
Yeah.
She also has a go at mumsy types.
You what?
Joke's on her. She hasn't got a child.
That's naughty. We apologise for that as well, because if you can't have a child, then that can be a bit hurtful. Yeah.
Joke's on her for doing stupid things.
Yeah, for being a bit of a mentalist. Yeah.
Other things on the internet. Niche website of the week. We've mentioned. I do a lot of picture blogs on this, which is obviously terrible radio, but I'm not going to stop because they're mostly brilliant. Niche website of the week goes to foxmolderswristwatch.com. The internet's most comprehensive examination of the watches worn by Fox Mulder on TV's The X-Files.
I've always needed one of those.
I know. I've always been looking to see what kind of wristwatches he wears, and now I've got it. So, the old TV show The X-Files with the character Fox Mulder on.
Did you ever watch it?
I can't admit that I did.
I've seen about 3 episodes. I thought it was boring.
Yeah, but apparently it's interesting enough, and certainly Fox Mulder and his wrist watches are interesting enough to make a website.
Tongue twister time. Say, I wish to wash my Irish wristwatch.
I wish to wash my Irish wristwatch.
You little turd. Say it so slowly. Anyway, continue, please. So, my apologies.
What this is a stream of photos, or basically screenshots from the TV program, The X-Files, all containing the left forearm and wristwatch of Fox Mulder. Some of them are really quite good. Some of them, you got to actually try and spot the wristwatch. Some of them, there's a little bit of a challenge to it. Others are just blatant, him holding it in his hand. But
I think there should be sort of advanced, intermediate, and beginner levels.
You have to sort of pass each level to be able to get onto the next ones to get your fix of Fox Mulder.
Yeah.
If you're into that sort of thing, then that is definitely something that you should look at.
Yeah. I wear my watch on my right.
Niche website of the week. Last website of the week, I think. We've only really got time for one more. Is my just favourite thing ever. I posted it on my Twitter and my Facebook, my personal ones, yesterday, see what people would say. I'm now about to post it. I'm just going to spam everyone up. I'm going to post it on the Will and James Facebook group.
Multimedia.
This
is how the
360 Will and
professionals
James.
do it.
Yeah, literally. I'm going to post it there now. It's gone. All I'm going to say is that I wept with joy at this. And so did you, James.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
It is just the best thing I've ever seen. You need to get on our Facebook and have a look at it. If you don't know what it is, it's the Will and James Late Late Show at 8:15.
Very professional.
Excellent plug. And there you will find just simply the best website I've seen all week.
Go on. Describe it. We all want to hear.
What someone's done is, you know, when you go on a roller coaster, you go down the roller coaster and it takes a picture of you as you go down. You're like, ooh, and it's funny.
Yeah.
What someone's done is one of these sort of walk-through haunted houses, they've set a similar thing up so that at a scary moment, a photograph is taken. So it's people's reactions to being scared, and more specifically, sort of some people's more extreme reactions, whilst other people are particularly placid. There are some brilliant ones of couples, obviously on a date, where obviously the woman's screaming her head off and the man's trying to protect her, all macho.
That's a
and
nice
then there's
one.
the other one where there's a woman just stood there all nonchalant, actually like smiling at the camera, like, what is this? And the man is like crying with fear and gripping her hand so tightly.
There's a lot of like sort of males like you assume they must be friends, like 6 males hugging each other from behind.
The thing is, like, it doesn't actually show you what the scary thing is. It must be so scary for adult males
the photographer
to have to, like, hug each other in that way.
The photographer's just running towards him with a massive erection. He's absolutely naked, apart from a shirt and some brogue shoes.
Oh, I don't blame him. Yeah, so that is so worth a look. It's unbelievable. And that comes courtesy of BuzzFeed. And it also concludes Will's Wide Web.
Very nice. Very
which
professionally
brings
done.
us very happily, or unhappily, depending, to the end of our show, James.
Oh, well, I am unhappy now.
You are unhappy.
Yeah.
Have you enjoyed it this week?
I've enjoyed it.
It's been a bit rushed, this one, hasn't it? It's been a bit last minute because
we've been off
away.
and all that, yeah.
We can only apologise for all of the racist and whatever.
Sexist things that Will said.
Sexist things that James
No,
said.
Will is definitely not a racist. Don't worry, everyone.
Also, you know, everyone is entitled to a child.
Yeah.
We will be back next week, won't we?
Yes.
We will be a bit more professional because we will have the Anyways of Wessex probably.
Yeah, we'll have some pre-recorded stuff.
Along with loads of other and just planned stuff rather than unplanned stuff.
Yeah, like talking about
Last
how bad your
minute
show
anecdotes.
was. That's a
We're not talking about how bad our show was, talking about how good next week's one's going to be. Come on.
Yeah, it will be excellent. We're going to have guests such as, I don't know, the Queen, Michael Jackson,
We're actually going to have celebrity
Jimmy
chef.
Savile.
Celebrity chef Heston Blumenthal's going to be coming in.
Oh, right. Oh, great.
Yeah, possibly not next week, but in future weeks. We're going to have
Excellent.
that, aren't we? Yeah, more Anyways Wessex, that'll be back. More news, more Will's Wide Web.
Yeah. And
Keep in
we might
touch.
get a couple of tubs full of knives, forks, and spoons, and see what gold I come out with. See if I
That
regret.
actually made my day.
It's made my day.
Oh, I'm glad that I can make your day. What else are we going to do? I was going to say something. Nope, not important. Right.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have 2 last songs, aren't we, James?
Yeah.
One of them is something that I think you'll really enjoy.
Right.
And the other is something that symbolises our friendship.
Right. Good.
First, it's Nostalgia
Yeah.
by Emily Barker, and then it's We Used to Be Friends.
Because, yeah, that's what our radio show has done to us. Used to be friends. Now just a subtle hatred on the airwaves.
Don't forget to listen to our YouTube page.
The Will and James Show from 8:15 till late 15.
Aww.